Okay, that's good. That's good. Hi, Sarada. Good evening. Well, first of all, my apologies for the last class that I couldn't come because I was sick and was affected. Well, my whole family was affected by this virus, this Omicron. So we are just getting over. Luckily, we are fine. Now we are just fine. But the last week was so terrible. A terrible cough, fever. Oof, it was so complicated. That's why I couldn't be here with you the last week. All right. So, but we know that we have to continue, right? So, thanks to God, because I think God protects us not to be so hard. No? My children, for example, all my family was with this virus. My children were with some little symptoms. The most affected were my wife and me. We had terrible cough, fever. Our body was so, so weak. But well, so we have to continue. Well, as you know, today we are going to finish with this module related to teaching vocabulary. Yeah, so this is module 9. So we have just one more. And as we have been doing all the classes, all the sessions, first we're going to start with a fast feedback in order to remember some things that we talked about the last session. No? Let's start by telling what is vocabulary. So we analyze some aspects related to the vocabulary. So we saw some 3 aspects, no? The form, the meaning, no? And the use. So these are the 3 aspects that we need to know about the vocabulary, about words. No, remember the vocabulary refers to words. So the form, so we could divide it in 3 components: the spoken, the written, and the word parts. No, how do you pronounce it? What is the spelling? No, what is the composition of a word? No, this is the form. In the meaning, we have the form meaning, the concepts, references, and associations. So here we are going to analyze the concept, no? The definition of each word and in which context. No, well, we're going to use the references. Are we going to use them? And finally, here they have the use. So we have 3 components again: the grammatical functions, collocations, and constraints on use. No? The grammatical functions is here related to the patterns, no? The appearance of the word, no? The function of the word inside a sentence or a phrase or a clause. Collocations, so the combination of words, no? What words go with other words, no? So this is the collocations. And the constraints of use is where, when, and how often would expect people to meet this word, no? The frequency and the context of uses of each word. So notice all the knowledge, no? All the knowledge that we need to know related to a word, no? So we have 3 major categories, no? Remember, the form, the meaning, and the use. No, this is similar to what we talked about grammar, no? In grammar, we also talked about these 3 aspects, no? The form, the meaning, and the use. So when we talked about vocabulary, it's almost the same, no? So we need to know all of this. Now, how can we identify words? Vocabulary, remember, is composed, it's consisted of many parts, many different words, no? We have the basic ones that are the single words, no? Single words, like book, pen, boy, school, not just single words. Then we have compound words, no? Compound words, words combined to form new words. Record player, time saver, no? Bus stop, So we're going to join, no? We're going to combine two words to make a new word, no, with just one meaning, no? Remember that we have here two units, and these two units has just one meaning, all right? Then we have the multi-word units or lexical chunks. Remember, lexical chunks, a group of words, no? So remember, chunks are a group of words. So lexical chunks which are more or less fixed. Here we have, no, by the way, upside down, out of the blue, bits and pieces. So we have these multi-word units or lexical chunks. No? We could say that we make some phrases, no, some simple basic phrases. Oh, Janela. Okay, thank you, Janela. All right. All right, so here we have this. And then we have the famous collocations or word partnerships, which are less fixed. No, break a record, set a record, word record, formal education, formal letter. So we are going to combine these words. No, they are usually they are usually together, right? They are usually together. So we call these collocations or word partnerships. No? So notice all the composition of vocabulary, no? From single words to group of words. No, we're going to join words. No, we're going to join two words to make just one meaning, or maybe we're going to join 2, 3, 4 words together to give some general meaning, no, according to the context. Oh, we join some words, no, we group them, no, because of their frequency. No, notice all the different aspects when we talked about vocabulary. So we could say that words have different functions. The same word can have a variety of forms. Notice here, a word can have different functions and different forms. All right? Functions, for example, a word can be a noun, could be an adjective, could be an adverb. No? For example, the word like is a verb. It's also an adverb. Or the word hand is a noun, but it's also a verb. Book is a noun, but it's also a verb. So notice this is that here says, no, that words have different functions, different forms. Go, for example, the verbs have different forms. No, go, goes, going, went, gone. Notice how we change the form of the word. No, the root word is go, but we are going to change the form according to the grammatical aspect. No, here it depends on the grammatical aspect. No, goes, third person singular. Went, past simple. Gone, past participle. Going, the present participle of gerund. Notice, according to the grammatical function, we're going to change the form. That's why here says that we have different functions and different forms. Words can be added to or combined to form new words. The famous compound nouns or collocations, when words commonly co-occur with other words. Words may look and or sound the same, but have quite different meanings. Here we have, they may look, so it means that you can write the same, or you can pronounce the same two words, but they have quite different meanings, right? See, notice, see, to watch, not to look, and see is the place when you go, no, to the coast. So notice the pronunciation is the same, but the meaning is different, all right? Read, read, the verb, no, the verb. So here we have one is in the present, the other is in the past, no? So we write the same way, we pronounce differently. Oh, Lucy? Oh, yeah. So notice, here, that's why here says the words may look or sound the same, but have quite different meanings. One word may have a variety of overlapping meanings, so one word could have different meanings according to the context you use it. You can change the meaning of one word according to the context you use it. Different words may share similar meanings or may have opposite meanings. The famous synonyms or antonyms. So notice all the different aspects that we could find in words. No? That's why here the title says words a complex phenomenon. No? Because we analyze the words so we could find different situations, no? Different aspects to analyze words. Now, according to this, so we have different concepts, no? So we have word classes, word families, content words, function words, synonyms, antonyms, homonyms, polysyms, homophones, homographs, hyponyms, and superordinate terms, and lexical field. Oh, sorry. So notice all the different aspects. Now we are going to remember some of them. Word classes. Can you tell me what does it mean, word classes? Word classes, what does it refer to? What's the difference between word classes and word families? Can you tell me? Can you tell me?
Teacher, word classes are relation of the function of the word, and the family is depend of the meaning. For example, word classes are nouns, verb, preposition, and families are um, uh, I don't
Yeah, you're right.
remember.
You're right,
Sorry.
Lucy. Yeah, word classes are referring to the parts of a speech, no, the different type of words, no, noun, verb, subject, preposition, conjunctions, etc. That's it. And the word families is related to the
Meaning, the meanings.
yeah,
According to the root, we can have a
exactly.
group of words according to the root. Yeah.
Exactly. That's it. Now, according to a root, we could find many different words. No, we have derivation. No, when we talked about morphology, this is called derivation or inflection. No, so we have a root word and then we add some parts and we create more words. No, for example, know, knowledge, knowledgeable, unknown, known. Notice what is the root? No. But with this root no, we can create more, adding suffixes, prefixes, and we call this word families. Or we could add other units too, no? Other units are well known, no? So notice we are going to create, this is called word families. Remember, word classes, word families. That's it. And what about the other one? Content words and function words. What's the difference between these two group of words? Content words and function words. Nobody, nobody, nobody. Content words, function words. We have been talking about these two groups of words a lot, no? Content words, function words, related to some grammatical aspect or lexical aspects of words. Aha, Diana in the chat, very good. Content words carry meaning, yes, that's it. A definition, a concept, no? Function words,
The function word has a syntactic, syntactic meaning.
Yeah, syntactical aspect or grammatical aspect of words. No, these are the function words. They don't have a concept. They don't have a definition. They help in order to connect words together, no, to have a sense. So this is the function words. In function words, we have prepositions, conjunctions, no, determiners, interjections. So we call this function words. On the other side, content words, we have four, no? Noun, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. These are the content words. They have concept, definition, they carry meaning, as Diana says. Exactly, Diana. And function words help us connect the content words. Excellent. All right, that's good. What about the other term? Synonyms and antonyms.
Synonyms are with the same meaning, teacher, and antony with the opposite meanings.
Yes, that's right. Now, synonyms are words which have similar meanings, no, quite similar meanings, and antonyms, opposite meanings. All right, that's good. What about these other ones? Homonyms, polysems.
Teacher, homony can have the same writing or the same pronunciation.
Yeah, the pronunciation.
Yeah, and the polysems is one word that had different meanings.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're right. That's good. Homonyms, remember, no, this is a very usual word related to, in order to make a comparison, a simile. So we have the names, no? There are some people who are called the same, no? For example, in my family, I have a lot of homonyms. My uncle is Jose Gatillon. My cousin is Jose Gatillon. I am Jose Gatillon. So we are homonyms. So homonyms are equal, no? Equal spelling, no? But different words, no? Different meanings. Here we find these two specifically, which are the homophones and the omographs, no? So we have the homophones, words which are pronounced the same, but they are written differently. Omographs, so words which are written the same, but they are pronounced differently. And polysems, as Lucy says, words which could have different meanings, no? According to the context you use, you can change the meaning of the word. And what about the last two terms? Hyponyms and superordinary terms with lexical field. What's the difference? Hyponyms. What are the hyponyms and superordinate terms?
Teacher, is like the family word. For example, eponyms is no, the hyper. I don't know what in the name. Yeah, is like an element of a big group. Yeah. For example, if you have colors, if hyponyms is red, blue, black, and other colors.
Exactly. Yeah. So words, no, which belong to a. Remember, this is related to semantics, no? Semantic fields. We call this semantic groups. So semantic categories, no? Calls is a semantic category, no? Because it refers to one meaning, no? A group of words referring to one meaning. Colors are blue, red, black, white. We call these hyponyms, no, and superlative terms. And what about the lexical fields? A kind of similar, no? A kind of similar. No, nobody. I'm gonna give you an example. For example, can you tell me words related to winter? A season, no? I choose this season, winter. Words which comes to your mind related to winter.
Cold.
Cold. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sweater, jumper, no?
So, gloves.
Gloves. Uh-huh. Notice, and what's the difference with the first part, the hyponyms and superlative terms? A lexical field, I gave you an example of lexical field. So again, lexical field is a group of words related to a topic. Remember, a subject. Maybe the words which belong to this kind of group are not related principally, but they have a connection with the topic, no? It's different with the semantic fields, no? In the semantic fields, they have a close relationship, no? Colors, oh yeah, blue, red, all of them are colors, right? But when we talk about winter, and you have to tell me words related to winter, so we have clothes, maybe colors, maybe some adjectives, no? Oh yeah, winter, oh, it's boring, no? It's an adjective, it's a feeling. Oh yeah, winter, it's cold. Oh yeah, weather, you're talking about weather. For example, weather is a semantic field, Weather, cold, hot, warm. This is hyponyms and superlative terms. But the word cold could be in a lexical field related to winter. But cold could be with other, no, a winter, yeah, teacher, winter, yeah, snow, maybe, no, snow, gloves, a hat, a woolen hat. So notice the difference between these two, hyponyms and superlative terms, and lexical fields. Semantic fields, the other one is lexical field. Semantic, words which are closely related to the meaning of the semantic category. But lexical field, words which has a connection, have a connection related to a topic or a theme, no? Or a subject. So don't forget about the difference between these two terms. So notice here all the aspects that we could find in words, no? All related to words, word classes, word families, content words, function words, synonyms, antonyms, homonyms, polysemes, homophones, homographs, hyponyms, and lexical field. So we have different aspects related to words. Then we talked about how we could learn vocabulary. No? So we have in our mind something that is related to the mental lexicon. No? And we are going to use a kind of a storage to remember words, to learn words. One of these is the short-term store that we use it just for a few seconds. Then the working memory. So we use it to do some cognitive tasks, such as reasoning, learning, and understanding. No? And then finally, the long-term memory as a kind of filing system. No? So we keep the words in this long-term memory, and we are not going to forget so easily. No? So some strategies to develop memory are repetition, retrieval, spacing, pacing, use, cognitive depth, personal organizing, imagining, mnemonics, motivation, and attention. No? We talked about all about these strategies related to how to develop our memory in order to remember words, no, for a longer time. No? Now, we are going to continue with the next part. How to present and teach vocabulary. This is so important. No? How to present and teach vocabulary. So in order to present and teach vocabulary, so we're going to analyze some aspects too. The first one is to build the context. So what do we need to do here? In order to build the context, so we need to add as much interest as possible in our students to create motivation, to elicit. What's the meaning of elicit? Can you remember? Elicit, a synonym of elicit? Nobody? Elicit?
Teacher, good evening.
Good evening, Nel.
Could be a drawing, an image.
Yeah, all right. So you use some strategies and techniques, no? To elicit, but the question is, what does it mean elicit? Elicit by itself. You use drawings, pictures, not to elicit. Yeah, Lucy says get something. Remember, elicit is similar to say to activate, no? To activate, to trigger, no? To trigger something, no? In order to activate some background, no? Remember, this is the purpose, the reason, no? The beginning, to activate a prior knowledge. That's why here says build the context. So it's very important in this part to activate this prior knowledge. As your partner Yanela says, so we could use different techniques. No? One of them, the most common, is using drawings, pictures, figures, no? And so on, and photos. So notice here, the first aspect in order to present vocabulary is to add as much interest as possible to trigger, to activate this prior knowledge, or prior mental lexicon of our students. Then we have to teach the form and meaning. So we can teach how words are pronounced, teach how words are written, and teach the meaning. So remember the three aspects, no? The three aspects of words: form, meaning, and use. So we need to teach our students the form and the meaning. Form is related to the spoken form or the written form, and also the meaning, the concept, the definition of each word. Then we need to check the understanding. Ask the students to use the word in sentence. Maybe you could use some concept questions. Then we need to practice the vocabulary. So we have here different kind of practice: controlled practice or freer practice. Now, controlled practice, when you're going to guide your students, no? You give some steps to follow and they need to complete them. Freer practice, that they can use words in a creative way, no? But it doesn't mean that you're going to give them free and you don't do anything. No. So you need some guidance, but it's not so controlled, no? Not so controlled. Then we have the review. So you can review game at the beginning or recap at the end. And then test. You have to make a feedback and retest if needed. So notice all the things that we need to do when we present and teach vocabulary. So first, we need to build a context, creating interest and eliciting, activating the mental lexicon of our students. Then we need to teach them the form and the meaning, how we pronounce, how we write, and the meaning of words. Then we need to check understanding, check understanding. So you could ask the students to use words in sentences or use some questions. Then you made him practice the vocabulary with controlled practice or freer practice. Then review. You can review at the beginning or at the end. And finally, you test, you evaluate with a feedback or a retest if it is needed. So notice all these steps that we could follow when we present and teach vocabulary. Let's see here some tips. We are going to give them, or we are going to see 3 steps in order to present and teach vocabulary. Step 1, presenting new words. Step 2, helping students remember new words. And step 3, making sure students made a new words their own. This is very important, that they can insert these new words that they have learned or seen into their mental lexicon, not just for a short-term memory, no, for a long-term memory. This is very important to make it more personal. Remember when we talked about speaking and we called this term appropriation. So they need to appropriate these words to insert them into their own mental lexicon. So here we have these 3 steps. Remember, first, present the new words. Second, help the students remember these new words. And the third step, make sure students that these words are internal. Huh? They appropriate these words. They make it personal. This is very important to remember. So notice these three steps. These 3 steps: present, remember, and make it personal. Let's start talking about the first one. The first step, present new words. So in order to present new words, Janela was talking about it, so we can use some visual aids, no? Pictures, diagrams, and so on, no? Using visual aids. Another things that we could use is gestures and actions. And the other one is guessing, predicting, and words in context. Also, you can show them some lexical relationships. And then we are going to see other techniques. So notice here, the things that we're going to do in order to present new words. We are going to use visual aids. We are going to guess or predict words. We're going to analyze words in context. We could use gestures and actions, and also we could show them some lexical relationships. So let's see. Let's start. Using visual aids. Notice this is a very common classroom, and you have here a lot of drawings, a lot of pictures, posters, or realia too, no? So we could use realia, pictures, masking, drawing, scales. So we use these visual aids to present vocabulary, all right? To present. Remember, this is the first step, present vocabulary. So realia, remember, real things, real objects, no? That we could use. Pictures is the most common, no? Pictures, diagrams, photos, masking, drawing, you can draw on the board, and scales, no? We could use also scales. No? Here we have different things, no, that we could use. For example, on this on the left side, we have some pictures, related to fruits. Then we have animals, drawings, family. So we could use them. And I know you use them. The other one is using gestures and actions. Here we have mime, gestures, facial expressions, actions. A very common activity is this game, no? Charades. So we could play them within charades. You act, and your students need to guess what the word is. This is a very common game. A very common game to present vocabulary to your students. Also to review, not just to present, to review some vocabulary too. Using these actions, movements. This is very common related to the TPR, the total physical response. So your students move, act, not just watch the picture or look at the photo. No. They move, they act, they imitate something. That's why here's this mime. That's very important to do, to present the vocabulary. Showing lexical relations. Here we have synonyms, antonyms, collocations, prefixes, and suffixes. For example, here you have these words using some cards, and you can show them some lexical relationships, happy, sad, generous, stingy, melt, freeze. So you use the synonyms or antonyms or collocation, also prefix for more advanced level students. So you use the prefixes and suffixes. Notice that you use also this game, the vocabulary spinner. So you can create it maybe physically or virtually, and you may students participate. Maybe draw a picture, act it out, or synonym or antonym, spell it, use it in a sentence, define it. So notice that you could use this vocabulary spinner to practice or to present vocabulary to your students. But notice that we could use this spinner not just to present, maybe to reinforce too. When we talked about define it, here we have more lexical relations, related to the meaning of words. So we could use this. Notice these activities to present vocabulary, present and teach vocabulary. Let's continue. Collocations. Here we have board raises. Teacher divides the whiteboard into one side has the word get and the other has the word have on it. Teacher gives a list of 20 words in a white paper such as married, lunch, drunk, breakfast. Both the students are given 2 markers and they have to go to the whiteboard, and under a minute, one of them write as many words as he or she can use the collocation get, and the other one as many as he or she can with the collocation have. So it's like a contest, That's why he says raises, board raises, So you divide a whiteboard, the board in 2. You on the right side get, on the left side have. And then you give them 20 words and they need to match, Which words go with get, which words go with have. Like a contest, Like a contest. So you're practicing here collocations, Collocations. So we call this board raises, board raises. Another one, choose your side. This is another activity. Choose your side. Teacher divides the classroom by tapping a line on the floor. One side belongs to the go category and the other one to the make category. So you divide the floor, notice not the board, the floor in two. One side to go, the other side to make. Students stand on the line as they wait for instructions. Teacher says a word such as the dishes. No, the teacher says this word, no? The dishes. Student move to the right spot, either make or go. The same dynamic is repeated with words such homework, exercises, another. Okay? Notice this is another activity, another game. So they need to move. Notice that it's not just to give them worksheets and complete, no? Because most of the time we give them worksheets, no? To practice the collocation, yeah. A table, no? With 2 columns, yeah. So now you have to match. Write the words in each column according to the correct collocation, no? This is the simplest one and the easiest one, and also is fast, no? Here is like an activity, no? Like a game using the floor, no? So they're going to play and they need to move, no? The teacher says the dishes, so they have to go to one side to the line, no? With go or make. So notice here you can use this activity, no? But as I told you, a lot of times it depends on the time and the number of students too, no? So you cannot equate it, no? You cannot equate it. But I'd advise you to use it. I use this in class a lot, principally at the first grades of secondary. They like playing, no? They like to move, and it's so funny. Another one, Collocation Mingle. Teacher prepares a set of confusing collocations such as fast car, fast train, quick recipe, quick decision, pay a visit, and pay a compliment. You will give part of the collocation to one student. For example, a student will be given the word fast, while another one is given the word train. Students have to stand up and approach others by asking what they have and make a connection if possible. Once everyone has a pair, students in pairs talk and make sentences with it. Again, it involves movement, no? So you give cards, you give parts of collocations, and they need to stand up and start watching. Oh, yeah, what's your word? Yeah, no, this is not with my word. Yeah, and go to another student, go to another to find, not to find the matching. Then maybe you can give them time, no? Because if you don't give time, it's gonna be long. So you give time, yeah, 5 minutes, find your pairs. And they start walking, no? Running, going, asking, no? And find a pair. Then notice, then they need to use, notice, this is the other one, to make it personal. They need to use, they need to make sentence with these collocations. This is very important, not just to recognize. No, they need to use. So in order to do that, they need to know the meaning of this collocation to create a sentence. All right. So this is called Collocation Mingle. And this is another way to practice to present vocabulary. Another one. Nowadays, we know that our students, teenagers, young people use this WhatsApp, also us. Fake WhatsApp conversations. Teacher introduces the topic by providing examples of collocation with win, beat, gain, and earn. Now, this is an example. Teacher tells the students to install a fake chat conversation application. Teachers ask them to make fake chat conversations using some of the collocations already introduced in step 1. No? Learners can share the conversation with the rest of the classmates so they can have practical examples of the use of these collocations in contests. No? So you can give them a framework, no? And they start creating a conversation using the collocations that you gave them. No, for example, he says, no, hello, Linda. Hello, do you have $100 that I can borrow? Oh, I didn't earn any money. Earn money. And notice, talk to Tony. He might have some. No, have money. Have some. And notice they are practicing the collocations. No, using this real context, no, but in a fake situation. No. So notice you use this one to present or practice or reinforce the vocabulary. As I told you, here says that they need to install, but I think that you could give them on a piece of paper, no, a framework, no, a framework, and they start writing on this framework. Could be WhatsApp or Telegram. I don't know. No, we have a lot of chatting platforms. Another one that is very common to use, no, that is bingo. Teacher introduces the topic by providing examples of collocation with win, beat, gain, and earn. Teacher creates a bingo online. So nowadays we have a lot of web pages that you can create bingo cards, no? Using my free bingo cards website. No? You can use this. Teachers send a link with the bingo cards to students. Teacher mentions the name of the different collocations with go, do, and play. The student who has a full card wins. No? So this is virtually. You can do it virtually. Remember, free bingo cards website. This is the website. And they can create cards and they can play it. All right. They can play it. Also, they can print it. All right. So you could use this technological device. No? If not, you can print a cards. No? And they start writing the collocations, no, that they have seen. No? As you can see here, no, go, play, and do. It's in mind that you have this, no, very common collocations. Go, play, and do. Go cycling, do yoga, play chess, do exercises, play soccer, play tennis, do squats, go fishing, go surfing. So you can give them the collocations, or maybe you give a list of collocations and they choose, no? Yeah, we are going to play in this 3x3 square. Choose 9 collocations from the list, maybe 20 collocations, and they choose 9. And you play it, no? You play with them, the collocations, all right? As I told you, you can print it or you can use it online, no? Online. You have the opportunity to have this, so you can do it online. If not, you can print it. Words in contest. So here we have dialects, role play, drama, stories, songs, rhymes and poems, videos. So here we have a dialect conversation, a poem, no? For example, with very, no? This is for little children, no? Very, you need to practice with your students the word very. So my different feelings, I'm very much when I break a toy. I'm very sad when the fun ends. I'm very glad when I see my friends. This is a very short poem practicing the word very. On songs, you could use some songs worksheets. For example, here you have this. Here you practice, for example, the past participle, no? Because you're talking about the present perfect. So you're going to make your student practice the past participle. How to make a past participle of regular verbs or regular verbs. And you could use a song, no? You could use a song. Or conversations, no? Make a bet, no? Do you want to make a bet? What kind of bet? And you use here some expressions, some collocations, no? Make a bet, pretty confident, instead of, or weak, win the bet. Notice. So we present here the words in context, not in isolation, no? Not in isolation, in context. The other one is guessing and predicting. Try to guess the meaning of the underlined words. Now, this is a very common exercise that we could make with our students. The children were bleeping all over the ground. And here we have more context, not to identify what is the meaning, not to guess what is the meaning of the underlined words. A country girl was walking along the snare with a ruggle of milk over her head. So here we ask our students to guess, no? To predict the meaning of words, no? According to the context, no? According to the sentence that they are gonna read or watch this word inside. No? Other techniques, so we could use dictionaries, explain, describe, define the context, and the other one, translate. Here you have, for example, this diagram, no? In order to analyze, to describe a word, no? This is a picture dictionary for a square. Notice, picture dictionary for a square. So we have a word, they have to write a definition, then draw a picture, using a sentence, and list of synonyms. Notice. So they could use this diagram in order to reinforce the vocabulary, no? To practice the vocabulary. Yeah? And also this, no? Dictionary skills. This is for more advanced learners, no for the elementary or basic, no? So we ask them to recognize the word, no? Different aspects of words, no? For example, the word, the pronunciation, the parts of a speech, the definition. So we show them how to use a dictionary to know better a word, no? In a dictionary, they could find a lot of information about a word. So we could teach them, no? We could find how to pronounce the word, what part of a speech it is, and what's the definition of the word, no? And then according to this example, so they are gonna do something similar, no? And then they are going to find another word to do again the same exercise, no? Notice this is a worksheet related to dictionary skills. Let's pass to the step 2. Notice we finished with the step 1, no? To present, to teach vocabulary to our students. Now, the step 2, help students remember these words. So they could remember learning with friends, using memorizing games or activities, using review games. Notice these 3 aspects that we could make our students remember the words for a longer time. It's very important. And also notice, it doesn't mean that the activities that we have seen before just to present, we could use these activities in some of these aspects too, no? In order to remember words. Using memorizing games and activities. So we have here given directions, picture dictation, matching words, searching words, sequencing words, eliminating words, classifying words. Here you have this matching. They need to match the words with pictures. So, sorry. Or picture dictation. So you can describe something and they are going to draw it. Sequencing words. Maybe when we talked about the frequency adverbs, so you give a diagram in blank, no? In blank, and they need to make a sequence, no? What is first? Always, then the other one usually, then and finally never. So they are going to make a sequence of words. They are going maybe to classify words, which words refers to weather, which words refers to seasons. So you can do these activities in order to make your students remember words, no? Giving directions, searching words, and classifying words. Review games. Word search games. Picture labeling. Crosswords. Bingo again. Notice that we could use bingo to present, to help the students remember too. Dominoes. Puzzles. Charts or survey for their peers. For example, here you have for little children, label a pet. So they need to write a name, no? Of each animal, of each pet. Now, this is a very simple worksheet for children. Here you have the famous crosswords, no? The crossword, puzzles, word search. This is a word search puzzle. For example, this kind of material you can find a lot. No, there are a lot of web pages that you can find a lot of word search or crosswords or puzzles. Another one is using online survey. I don't know if you have heard about Mentimeter. Can be used to maximize the exposure of the students to certain collocations. Here you have one example. What did you do last week? No, this is like a poll, like a survey. Remember, Mentimeter is an online survey. So what did you do last week? And you have different options, no? I made an important decision. I made a contribution. I made a mistake. I made some progress. I made a phone call. I made a choice. I made an excuse. And the students are going to vote, no? Mentimeter is that they are going to vote. But notice that you're practicing and you're helping your students to remember this collocation using this online survey. I said, oh yeah, okay, what did I do last week? Yeah, I made a mistake. Notice, I made a phone call. Yeah, I made a phone call. Oh no, I made an important decision. So you use this online platform in order to make service immediately at the moment, no? And you can reinforce it, or you are going to make your students to remember things, to remember words for a longer time, no? I don't know if you have used before Mentimeter. Have you ever used a Mentimeter? No, nobody? All right, don't worry. The next module is related to the ICT. I'm gonna show you this kind of technological platforms to practice here. The one of them is Mentimeter. It's very, very interesting. All right, so notice this is like a review game. No, this is like a review game by using a survey, an online survey. Learning with friends. This is another one. Practice words with a classmate or in a group. Teach a word to a member of the family or peer. Make and play word games with friends. Peer test. Oh. So here you can make your students practice together to test themselves, no? This is very important, no? This is very important, as we have seen it before, no? All the activities that we have seen are related to work with partners, not classmates. Not just give a worksheet related to vocabulary, they need to complete it, they need to label it. No, interaction is very important, the interaction. For example, when I remember when I taught this course at the university, it was English for specific purposes. When you teach this kind of courses, for example, you need to revise a lot of vocabulary related to this aspect, no? Business, technology, science, medicine. And I usually do this kind of activity, in pairs. What's the definition of, in order to remember, the meaning of some words or phrases or lexical chunks. What's the meaning of, or maybe vice versa, you give a phrase and the other students give the definition and something like that. So they interact, they are going to practice vocabulary in pairs or in groups, So for example, I remember once that I prepared like contest, It was like a contest. So I gave my students a group of words related to the topic that we have seen before, and they need to choose some of them and ask their partners in groups, ask them, yeah, what's the meaning of this expression? And the students need to remember, oh, yeah, I remember that it was related to business. I remember that. The deadline, for example, deadline. Okay, or backup, backup. Oh, yeah, deadline. What's the meaning of deadline? Yeah, so they need to give the definition. If they couldn't give it, so the other group wins a point, scores a point. All right, something like that. Something like that. So you can practice this with friends, with partners. And also here, notice here says the family too. You can ask them to do these kind of ways with their parents or maybe sister, brother, cousins. But if they want, all right. Peer tests, as I told you, they test each other. They test each other. What's the meaning of, or what's the definition of? Oh, could you give me the word for this definition? No, vice versa. You give the definition, and they have to give you the word or the phrase or the collocation related to that definition. So you can practice a lot. You can practice a lot. Now, let's pass to the third step. Remember, the first step, present. Second step, make your students remember the words. And the last one is to make sure students make new words their own. So they are going to make the words personal. They are going to appropriate words to use it. Availability. Remember, availability, appropriation, availability. So when they want to produce, they need to appropriate and make these words available to produce. This is very important. So, vocabulary record system. Personalizing new words. So we're going to use these two to create a system, a record system of vocabulary, and personalize these new words that they have learned or seen. Let's see what we can do. Vocabulary record system. So we could use vocabulary books in an alphabetical order, by topic or situation, by grammatical groups, by color sets for children specifically, by story features. So we could use also a personal dictionary or word notebooks, marking word stress, adding pictures, putting an L1 translation if you wanted, putting the word into context, adding a synonym, mapping a word family. So we could use this too. We could use the vocabulary books or a personal dictionary or glossary. Sometimes we ask our students to create their own glossary, and also some books, Also some books and test books have at the end of the book a glossary per unit, Unit 1, a glossary. Unit 2, a glossary. So you can ask them to maybe with this glossary, so they could find more information about each word, Because sometimes students just get, yeah, this is the translation, this is the feminine, and that's it, And that's it. So we can ask them to find out more, to find out more. So they could use, notice, vocabulary books or personal dictionary, For example, the vocabulary books are very, very interesting. I advise you to use them, because in order to increase, to expand your vocabulary. And a personal dictionary is your own glossary, So you can find information related to the pronunciation, the syllable, which syllable is stressed. Maybe you could add pictures. If you want, you can translate it, or you could use the word in different sentences, in different contexts, synonyms, antonyms, all going to the word family, mapping a word family, the derivations, different derivations of words. The root word, then you add prefixes, suffixes, you can create a lot of derivations. So when you do that, you are creating a vocabulary record system. Another one is keeping a learning log or blog. Nowadays, it's very common to create blogs. So blogs, remember, is like a web page, but it's more personal. It's more personal. Keeping a diary or blog, again, virtually. Creative writing by using newly learned words or phrases. Notice this is very important. Creative writing, all right? And they're going to use these words or phrases that they just learned. Looking for recently learned words in storybooks, the internet, the newspapers, and noticing how they are used. Now, this is very important too. This is very important too. Use nowadays this very common technological device that is the internet, From internet, and then I'm going to show you web pages to practice, to reinforce vocabulary. We have a lot of tools on the internet. to find this kind of information. For example, the first part, the pronunciation, the syllables, the antonyms, the synonyms, the derivations. So we could find a lot of web pages to do that. No? Also, newspapers, no, online newspapers or stories or magazines. So they could find a lot of this. No, they could find a lot. For example, there is a very common, I remember that I showed you when we talked about reading, the Reader's Digest. Have you seen it? Yes or no? In Spanish, no? Remember that I told you, no? In Spanish it's called selecciones, no? But in English it's Reader Digest. So on this magazine, this is an online magazine, you find obviously articles, no? Articles related to different topics, no? Health, fashion, education, culture, and so on. But also it has some parts, some links that you can find some exercises, no? New words for every day, no? Or jokes. You can find some explanation of some collocations or idiomatic expressions. So you could use these tools, no? And you can give these tools to your students too, no? In order to use them. And they could notice by themselves how words are used. This is very important. Another one is self-test. So they can solve some tests, some evaluations, some quizzes. Look for patterns in words. Plan and organize a vocabulary record-keeping system. Learn words in their preferred ways. Reflect on learning and reviewing regularly. And monitor vocabulary learning. No? So here we have these kind of activities that they could do in order to make words more personal, remember? So they can make their words their own. This is very important. When they do that, they are doing this metacognition, no? Because they are analyzing. Metacognition is to analyze, to revise, to check how they are learning, how they could remember words. This is very important to do. Notice here this. We have here a drawing, no? And you tell to your student, no, look, he's smiling. Now look at me. Now you ask them to look at you and you start smiling too. Look at me, I'm smiling. We smile when we are happy. What does it mean? Notice in this example, can you tell me what techniques do we use to explain the word smile? Again, notice the situation. You come to your class, you say, look, my dear students, look at this picture. Look at this boy. He's smiling. Now, look at me. You're not using translation. Notice, you're not translating because this is how your teacher smile. Sorry. No, you don't translate it. So notice, look, he's smiling. Now look at me. And you start smiling too. I'm smiling. We smile when we are happy. What does it mean? And your students are going to tell you, the meaning of the word smile. So what techniques are we using? Can you tell me? What different techniques that we have seen before are we using? Tell me.
We activate the thinking.
Yeah, all right, all right, all right. Yeah, but what technique? Look, he's smiling. So you show the picture, no? So it means that you're using visual aids. This is the first one, no? Because you show this picture to your students. Look at my dear children, look at this boy. He's smiling. So you're showing the picture. So you're using visual aids. Then look at me. So what are you using? Excellent, Floor. Gesture, facial expressions, because you ask your students to watch, to look at you. They are going to look at your face. Oh, the teacher. Okay, teacher. Oh, the teacher is doing the same as the picture. He's smiling too. All right, I'm smiling. We smile when we are happy. What does it mean? What are you doing? We smile when we are happy. Anybody? Remember the other, you're asking a question, a concept question. What does it mean? Maybe you give a little description, no? You're describing the word. We smile when we are happy. Notice the different techniques that you use. This is a very short activity, right? It doesn't last more than 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. But notice that you are doing a lot of things here. So first, picture on board. Interesting students remember. So you're creating interest because they are going to look at the boy. Oh, look at the boy. All right. So you're using the visual X, picture on board. Then, as you told me, facial expression. So gives meaning clearly because they are going to analyze. Oh, smiling. You have to move your lips. All right. Examples. Show how smile is used as a verb. Notice you give examples because you show how a smile is used as a verb. We smile when we are happy. We smile. So you're giving that this word is a verb. At the end, you can translate it, no? At the end, maybe you can translate it to make sure, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary. Using the picture, using your facial expression, and using some examples, you can give the opportunity to your students to understand what the word means, no? What the word means. Exactly, Catherine. The background, no? Here we have this background. So notice, this is a very simple activity. Notice, this is a very simple activity, but you are combining different techniques. No, as I told you before, I show you different techniques, different activities, how to present, how to remember, and how to make it personal. But it doesn't mean that you're going to use like process, no? First present, then remember, then no, you can combine them, no? You can combine in one simple step or one simple stage of your lesson. You can combine these different techniques to present, to remember, and to make this word more personal, no? For example, maybe you want to make this word more personal, you can ask them, no? Now, describe your family. If they are smiling or not in a picture or photo. So you make your student make this word more personal. All right. They are appropriating, no? They are appropriating the word into their mental lexicon. So this is very important to do. All right. So notice here the different techniques that we could use, different activities that we could use in order to present and teach vocabulary. Remember the 3 steps. Step 1. What is the step 1?
Present the word.
Present. No? You present the vocabulary, no, the new vocabulary. Second step. What is the second step?
Guessing. I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, guessing is part of the presentation. They need to guess or predict. Remember, the first
The
step.
meaning of the word or the vocabulary.
Yeah. So present is the first. The second is remember. No, you can help your students remember words, because maybe you present the vocabulary perfectly, but then they are gonna forget it. So how can you make your students remember those words? This is the second. And finally, what is the third?
Make use the word.
All right. To make words personal, no? To make words their own, to use it, no? As you told us, to use them, no? So remember, as I told you before, no? Appropriation, availability. These 2 aspects is very important, no? So you need to appropriate words to make these words available to use it. If you don't appropriate words, so you're not gonna find words to talk, to speak, or to write. No? That's why sometimes we ask, teacher, I can understand, but I cannot talk or write. Because you can recognize words, but you are not appropriating them. And it means that you don't have words to make or to be available to use them. That's why you cannot maybe to speak or write fluently. So you need these steps to appropriate. If you appropriate words, so you're gonna make words available to use them. All right. And it happens also in your students. It's very important to remember that. Okay, now I'm gonna show you here different web pages that you could use by your own or with your students to practice to reinforce vocabulary. Yeah, I'm gonna change my screen. Just give me a second. Yeah, can you watch it?
Yes.
Yeah, for example, this is for more advanced learner students, no? To define, to analyze words, to find synonyms. Yeah, I'm gonna put here the address. Just give me a second. This is one of them. Describing words and describing words. Here you have which noun do you want to describe, and you're gonna have different words or adjectives or definitions, words related to the word theme. No, I wrote, for example, the word theme, and here says, no, here are some adjectives for theme. You can get the definitions of these adjectives by clicking on them. You might also like some words related to theme here. So here you have more words. Well-stated, martial, fake, classical, seconds, subordinate. So we have a lot. Notice. We have a lot. This is to expand, to increase your vocabulary. No, this is one of the pages that you could use. For example, let's write another word. Adjectives. Notice adjectives that you could use with the word woman. Attractive red hair, beautiful silver hair, perverse, rebellious, active, compassionate, cheery, easygoing, cold, criminal, perverted, Spanish, burly, willing, lovely, older. So you have a lot. Notice we have a lot of vocabulary, a lot of adjectives to go with the word woman. All right, to go with the word woman. Okay, so notice describing words. That's why here the title says describing. So you're going to describe a woman. How can you describe a woman? All right, so you have to write nouns. That's why here says that you have to write nouns because you're going to describe the nouns. Another web page. The other one is this, visu words. Yeah, I'm gonna write this. Yeah, this is the other one. This is, as you can see here, a visual dictionary, visual thesaurus, an interactive lexicon. So here we have the lexical fields and semantic fields. A modern dictionary for a modern world. Visu words represents language visually. So you can explore the lexicon, whether you're a native English speaker or a second language user, either as a student or as a teacher, browse the language in which you couldn't with traditional printer reference material. All right. So notice here. You write here and look at the keywords here. The colors, noun, it's blue, noun, green is verb, orange adjective, and red adverb. Let's write, for example, subject. Anywhere you can write here, anywhere. Yeah, subject. And notice subjugate, subject, subjugate, subject makes a servant forced to submit a subdued. So you have different adjectives. For example, here you have likely to be affected by something. The bone is subject to succession. Here's the subject to fits of depression. You can give examples too. Here you have subject, topic, theme, synonyms. Here you can have synonyms. The subject matter of a conversation or discussion. Green as a verb. Notice, remember the colors. The colors indicates the parts of a speech. So green is a verb. Subject, subject, subject. Here you have, notice, you have as a visual, no? It's not like a normal dictionary that you read the definitions and the sentences. No, it's visual diagrams. This is the visu words, no? Visu words, remember, visu words. Another one. This one. This is very interesting. Vocabulary.com. Here we have a lot of activities. You can sign in, or maybe you can practice without signing in, but I advise you to sign in because you can keep a record of your progress and so on. All right. So you have here activities. For example, you press learn. With interactive games, here you have interactive games, challenge, a program. Here you have more activities. For example, notice here 5 more activities. Vocabulary list. Notice here we have a lot of lists. We have 12,554 curated lists. And you can practice with this with some activities. You have here by subject, literature, nonfiction, textbook, curricular, test preparation, morphology and roots, historical documents, speeches, just for fun, news, So you related to news. So you have a lot. I advise you this webpage is so interesting. All right. Let's see here the dictionary. Let's see. Let's write. Yeah. You have here the pronunciation. Knowledge. I don't know, you could hear it. Could you hear it?
Yes, teacher.
All right. And you have definitions. Then you have usage examples. In fiction, in our culture, news, business, sports, science, medicine, technology, word family. Then you have the editor choices. And also you have some courses to prepare for some international exams too. But if you want it, you need to pay it. But the other ones are free. Just the courses you need to pay. But the other activities are completely free. Yeah. So we have a lot to notice. We have a lot. Also, there's games. Let me see it. Just give me a second. The games. Yeah, this is like a game, for example. Autonomous means, and you need to choose the correct one. Also, you have points. Autonomy means standardizes, self-governing, nonchalant, and gentle. Also, you have some tricks here. 50-50, word in the wild, definition. You don't know exactly what it is, so you can see the definition. Word in the wild is see examples of this word used in context. If you are not so sure, for example, you can add this, no? Oh yeah, so they are not omnipotent like the first class citizenry. They lead almost autonomous lives away from the prying eyes of the soldier. So you can identify or guess or predict the meaning of the word according to the sentence. And then you can check it. And notice, here you have a lot. You have a lot of activities on this web page. I'd advise you to sign in. Yeah, signing is free. As I told you, they ask you to pay if you want to take a course. But if you don't want to take a course, so you can surf on the activities free. You don't pay anything. All right. Let's pass to another one. The other one is this. The other one is related to the British Council. The British Council. As I told you before, because I showed you this page before, no? When we talked about grammar, also you have the skills, online courses, business English, general English, and also the IELTS. So the vocabulary, notice you have with different levels. Beginner to pre-intermediate, intermediate to upper intermediate, vocabulary games. So we have to choose the level to practice your vocabulary. From A1, A2, beginner to pre-intermediate, intermediate to B1, B2, vocabulary games. Also, you have other websites. Learn English skills for children from age 5 to 12, from 13 to 17, teaching for teachers and teachers educators. As I told you, this webpage, the British Council, is so helpful. I'd advise you to use it. Let's see. One of them, beginner to pre-intermediate. You can choose a vocabulary lessons, accessories, actions, appearance, bedrooms, body parts, clothes, colors, daily routine, drinks, everyday objects, farm animals, food in Britain. And notice you have a lot. All right. Let's see one of them. It's charging. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, for example, you have these are interactive. So your students can interact here. No? So they need to match, no? Match the words and pictures. Also, they could hear the pronunciation.
Jeans, jumper,
top,
And they need to match, no? They drag to the picture. Oh, doesn't want my, yeah. Okay, yeah, okay. Can you see it? Jeans and so on. So it's interactive, all right? It's interactive. Oh no, what's going on? This is the first activity. Then you have another one. Task 1, vocabulary A1, A2, alphabetical order. Notice a glossary but related to alphabetical order. Put the words in alphabetical order. Task 2. Listen and put the letters in order. Remember, this is for beginner students. Task 3. Complete the sentences with the words. Definitions. Notice, definitions. Task 4. Tops or buttons. So they need to categorize, no? Categorization. Clothes we wear on the upper body, clothes we wear on the lower body. Semantic fields, no? Semantic fields, hyponyms. Top categories, upper categories. Task 5. Complete the sentence. Write a words. And notice, a lesson could have many tasks, several tasks, and they could do it. All right. So don't forget it. Yeah. BBC, I put it, yes. No? BBC Learning English. This is a British Council, so British Council. This is Learn English, and you could have related to the skills, grammar, vocabulary, business, general English, and also this famous international examination, the IELTS. Now, another one. Let's see. Yeah, this one. This one is Word Hippo. This is the name of the web page. Word Hippo. Yeah, I put it in the chat. So this is like a thesaurus. And this is like a thesaurus, and you can find synonyms, antonyms, definitions, rhymes, sentences, translations, find words, word forms, pronunciations. Notice all the information that you can find in a word. Let's see. Make. Notice a very simple word. You have the pronunciation. What is another word for make? What is the opposite of make? Sentences with the word make. Words that rhyme with make. What is the adjective for make? What is the noun for make? So you have a lot. So you can click here on synonyms. What is another word for make? Build, form, construct, cap, create, assemble, compose, craft, fabricate. So you have a lot. Antonyms. Opposite of to create or form something, destroy, break, demolish, dismantle, crash, ruin. So notice definitions. Here you have what does make mean. Verb is transitive, to create, to build, to write, to bring, to constitute, to cause, to force, to do. Notice all the different definitions of the word make. Rhymes. Stake, take, shake, break, fake, flake, cake. Notice you have a lot of information related to words. Word hippo. Remember, word hippo. Now, let's pass to another one. This is English Club last session, I showed you this webpage too. And I told you that it has a lot of elements here on this webpage. As you can see, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, listen, speak, read, write, guess, 7 secrets, quiz me. We have a lot. Let's see. English vocabulary. What is vocabulary? Ask questions about vocabulary, vocabulary quizzes, vocabulary games, word of the day, vocabulary list, common words, phrasal verbs, irregular verbs. We have a lot. Topic vocabulary, lexical fields, no food, sports, music, movies, numbers, time, vocabulary references. Here we have lots of useful English words and phrases, including slang quizzes, idioms, synonyms, collocation, confusion, vocabulary by class and form, word classes, notice parts of the speech, verb, nouns, adjective, other word forms. Notice we have a lot. Also, we have other web pages that you can find more activities related to practice, reinforce, or learn vocabulary. All right. So we have a lot. This is very, very helpful too. Also notice here on the left, you have the top 10 English club. So we have the phrasal verb list. This is very, very interesting. Also, you have the PDF. So you can download it and print it. This is like a list, all right, that you could use with the phrasal verbs. This is the English club. Remember, English club. Let me show you another one. Yeah, this is the other one. languageguide.org, English vocabulary. So here we have by topics, the alphabet, writing, numbers, the body, clothing, food, animals, nature, the house, miscellaneous. So transportation, for example, let's see the body.
The little finger, wrist.
Notice that this is interactive too.
Head, neck, arm, the armpit, wrist, elbow, chest, hip, abdomen, stomach, belly, tummy.
And notice here having a formal and informal.
Elbow.
The
Little thumb.
The fingers, thumb.
Index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm.
Palm.
Shoulder.
Also,
knuckle.
Here you have a speaking challenge, a listening
Elbow.
challenge. Elbow. So you need to march towards the elbow, no? You can
Elbow.
play it. You can show the spelling, elbow. And you have to know toes. Toes. And you have here a lot, no?
The body.
Another one, notice, let's see, transportation, similar. The house, no? It's very common here, the house.
House. Roof.
Shingle. Tile.
Chimney.
Shutter.
House. House. House.
Oh, my internet.
Hall. Hallway. Room. Wall. Ceiling.
Notice.
Floor.
So this is like the diagrams, the pictures, but in an interactive way, no? So you can show it to your students and they can watch them, listen, and so on, no?
House.
Yeah, this is the language guide, remember? And also it has some activities, no? Listening and speaking activity. Yeah, the languageguide.org. And this is related to English vocabulary, all right? And let's finish with another one. Let me see, where is it? Yeah, here it is. reallylearnenglish.com. Again, this webpage have a lot of elements, a lot of tools, but we are going to go to the vocabulary activities. Here you have downloads, videos, speaking and pronunciation, reading, writing, and here it is vocabulary. So what is vocabulary? What is vocabulary important? How can this site help? Notice here you have a brief explanation. How can you use these web pages? So you could use reading, bold vocabulary and some common mistakes. You can use the vocabulary flashcards, do the vocabulary exercises, and read the English short stories. Also, you can watch videos in the Learn English video section, the English reading practice, do the vocabulary quizzes, free vocabulary worksheets, and also you can improve your English grammar and some really good dictionary. Also, you have vocabulary lessons. Find out about teacher games for vocabulary, synonyms, antonyms, English vocabulary word list, vocabulary articles. So we have a lot again here, right? We have a lot of things. Here you can find the vocabulary games, vocabulary games for the classroom, 5-minute activities, a resource book for short activities. So here you have some books or some excerpts of books. So daily word ladders. Notice we have a lot, all right? We have a lot of things for you as teachers and also for you as students, all right? Also for you as students. There was once, I think I closed it. Just give me a second. Where is it? Just give me a second. It's from the BBC Learning English. I'm going to show you this to finish. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, the BBC Learning English, remember, it has a lot of things, again, a lot of things that you can practice, reinforce as teachers, as students. And also here you have the vocabulary section. English in a minute, intermediate plus, 6-minute English, intermediate plus, the English we speak intermediate, 6-minute vocabulary basic, for example. Here, this one, let's go to this one. Basic vocabulary, suffixes, adjectives, and adverbs. For example, let's see here. Adjectives and adverbs. Yeah, here we have a video, an audio. Also, you have the transcript. You can download, notice, you can download this and you can watch it or listen it offline, not online. So this is very good for you. So here we have this with videos. Also here you have videos teaching you the vocabulary of English. All right. Well, I think that's all about the web pages. I hope that you can use them. As I told you before, internet's great for teaching, for learning, for practicing. So try to use it the most. It's very important. You can find a lot of web pages, and the pages that I show you are free. Just the one, the vocabulary.com, you want to take some courses, you can pay it. But if you don't want, you don't pay it. So, but the other ones are completely free. You don't need to pay anything. Most of them, you don't need to register or sign in. Some of them, if you want to watch more activities, you can sign in, but it depends on you. So I'd advise you to use them a lot. All right, use them a lot. Well, that's all for today. The time, oh yeah, the time. So try to take care of yourselves. See you next week. Next week, remember, next session is related to the ICT. the technological aspect of teaching the language. So here we're going to reinforce all these different web pages that we have seen it before. So we're going to reinforce it, and also I'm going to talk about some platforms too, how to create, to analyze the web pages, and maybe use some platforms to teach, to teach the language. Well, see you next class. Take care a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher. Thanks a lot.
Bye, teacher.
Hi, teacher. Thank you. See you next.
Bye-bye. See you next class. See you next session.